Wow, Neil Armstrong. Hey, wait a minute. You're supposed to be on the moon. I just saw it on TV.
Oh, there's a tape delay and with all solar winds.
Nobody that I know of in my field uses the so-called scientific method. In our field, it's by the seat of your pants. It's leaps of logic. It's guesswork.
You don't see the curvature of the earth. That stuff is flat.
GLOBEBUSTERS taking over. Bye-bye, moon man and rover. NASA's so mediocre. Sorry, but your ball is dead. But your ball is GLOBEBUSTERs taking over. Gotta ride this roller coaster, but the truth is getting closer. Sorry, but your ball is dead. But your ball is. Get the shovel for the spice of a piecing up the puzzle. Need a burst your bubble. Evil gonna crumble, yeah? Sit down, be humble. Got the ball, you better fumble. You'll get mad, cause at this fight I involved your uncle.
And then they call me the liar. I mean, it's absolutely unbelievable the pathetic techniques that they have to use to prove their heliocentric model.
Props at the president, Jan got the evidence. Eros laying desert wisdoms, that shark is evident. That the earth electric and it's resonant. Your residence is evidence, and I hope you settle in like some settlement. If we so wrong, why they lying to discredit it? That's not too intelligent. That's a guy not in court, but we ain't really in the settlement. It's time to awaken from the pseudoscience sedatives.
GLOBEBUSTERs taking over. Bye-bye, moon man and rover. NASA's so mediocre. Sorry, but your ball is dead. But your ball is. GLOBEBUSTERs taking over. Gotta ride this roller coaster, but the truth is getting closer. Sorry, but your ball is dead. But your ball is.
Inner World Productions.
We accept the reality of the world with which we're presented. It's as simple as that.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of GLOBEBUSTERS Tech. I'm your host, Zach, Good Times for All, and today we are going to be talking about the optics of invisibility. Now, optics are tricky. Not just the optics that are man-made, but yeah, optics that we see in nature. Now, this one is definitely man-made. We'll hear from the creator, the inventor tonight, and it's really simple, and it's just really neat, and it's really simple to make yourself. I was thinking about making one of these. I got to check the prices around here, whatnot. Might wait a little bit to see if prices on some of the stuff come down. We'll see. But yeah, they're real simple to make, and they actually do a pretty good job of hiding something. Now, it's not like you look into a field and you don't see anything, right? That's not this type of invisibility. Like you would look into a field and you would see this weird piece of plastic kind of sitting there. But as you're looking through the plastic, you don't see anything like behind the plastic. It looks just like everything else in your field of view. But you can put things behind there and they just disappear. It's really neat, really simple, and we're going to talk about that tonight. But before we do, we're going to say hello to the panel, and we're going to start off with Mr. Kyle Adams. Kyle, how are you doing, sir?
Happy to be here as always. Yeah, got all kinds of stuff going on over here. Yeah, the Jehovah's Witnesses came and knocked on my door recently, and they tried to tell me that the Bible describes the earth as floating in outer space because the Bible says that the earth hangs on nothing. And so I've been working on a big response to that. It's like, what? Yeah, it's been a really fun conversation with them. So yeah, I'll have my response to that out pretty soon. I've been working on that.
Well, that's going to definitely be interesting. I know they they have a certain way they look at things, and it's just interesting to me that they would even, look at the heliocentric model at all. It kind of makes zero sense to me the way that the Bible's written, at least to me when I read it. In all, the different passages that talk about this place, they don't talk about it being spherical at all. They do mention it being a circle, but a pizza tray is a circle as well.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
And they
yeah.
do have a word for ball, but they chose not to use it.
Well, they did. Jeremiah used it, but not in that instance. He used it in
Yeah,
an earlier verse. So
yeah.
he definitely knew the
The earth wasn't
distinction.
described as a ball, though.
Yeah, no, not at all. So he knew the distinction. The person that actually said it was a circle actually used the word for sphere,
Oh,
earlier on. So yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, everything I've seen from it, it tells me that it's immovable, stationary, set
it's
on
got
pillars.
foundations.
Yeah, foundations. So yeah,
That's part of my big response there is just that something that has foundations and pillars. What do you need that for if it's floating, right?
yeah, yeah.
Like if it's out there floating in outer space, that's the opposite.
Well, it hangs on nothing can be the same thing as just saying it's not hanging,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah,
If I put my hat on a shelf, it hangs on nothing.
there you go.
Yep.
Next up, we have Miss Karen B. Karen, how has it been going
It's been
with you,
going.
ma'am?
It's been going well. Been spending more time outside because it's warming up a little bit, and that makes me happy.
Yeah, it's been beautiful out. Been getting some yard work done. Had fun over at Sarah and Griff's Sunday with you,
Mm-hmm.
clearing out some trees. That's always fun.
Yeah, still cleaning up after Hurricane Helene.
Yep, gonna be doing some more Sunday, I hear. So,
Yeah.
yep, gonna be a good weekend for sure. It's always good to get out there and get. This is my kind of exercise.
Mm-hmm.
I hate doing push-ups. I hate doing all that kind of stuff, or just lifting a weight to put it back down in the exact same place. It it just it seems so pointless. I know it's healthy for you and all that kind of stuff, but this is my kind of exercise. I
I
love going out,
agree.
especially helping friends, you know. Yeah,
Yep.
it's just you can't beat
We call it farm fit.
it. And last but definitely not least, we have Miss Cammy Nodell. Cammy, how are you doing?
Doing good. It's been a good week. We had a great time over at Sarah and Chris, and like again the bonus of the fire and that going. I heard that the fire was still going. Maybe
Yeah,
that was another
I think that was yesterday. I saw
yesterday.
a text that said the fire is still going strong,
Mm-hmm.
and we started it Sunday. So yeah,
It's a good fire. Nothing makes me happier than being outside and then raking. I'm quite sore from raking. Karen is my hero. While I was out raking and doing that, she went to the Costco and then drove out of her way to deliver. And it was a big scuttle everywhere on Reddit and such places. Almond croissants from Costco. That it was one of those foods that when I
Cammy
moved,
has been looking for these all over the place, like
I
everywhere. She can't find them
everywhere
in any store.
because it was a norm. It was a norm in Colorado. It was one of those things that at the bakeries, and that I would always pick them up at the bakeries. And I mean, I've been eating them my whole life,
And
I
I
think.
know your pain. I'm still
Hmm.
looking for a real hot
Yeah.
dog or a real gyro. So
And even the Starbucks in Colorado had the almond ones, the ones filled with the almond paste on the inside. And when we moved out here, it was all of a sudden in the bakeries and everything. What? What do you mean it's not there? So it's one of the few things there, you gain a lot. We gain moonshine and, you gain a lot of, you gained more than anything, you gained the 75-degree days in January and February that are just glorious,
yeah,
completely glorious.
beautiful. Love the
And the
weather
wood
here.
burning in the community and that. But no, Karen did that, and I was able to satisfy one of those cravings that I've had for years now, and to know that they just started carrying them at the Costco. And Karen, you're my hero doing that. She's like Costco, and it's like I know I need something. Oh, that's right, because I'm always like saying almond every now and then, every few minutes, she'll Google almond croissants near me. And it's like they shut up.
I never look for those, so you finally found something I could do. It was
Yeah,
easy.
you did. Yeah, and it was like hero because it was just I'm still eating them. I'm eating they are a little bit different than the Colorado ones. We're in the South. I'm in the deep South, so the box weighs 5 pounds, and the amount
Yeah,
of
they were
almond paste
huge.
they were huge, and the amount of almond paste they put on the inside is like 10 times what a normal one would. So it's a lot of eating on my part, but I'm doing it. And I've been trying to gain weight, so it's been a good. You are right that as far as doing weight, they are rich. They are very. It wasn't just heavy.
Maybe
It's
you
like
could get extra croissants and then put some of that paste on the croissant and like, you know what I'm saying?
right. There's so good. Oh, I don't know. I'm actually taking a spoon and doing the paste and putting it directly in my mouth at this point. It's a lot like cookie dough, but richer.
You got me thinking of Einstein bagels now. Einstein bagels. Ooh, man, they've got some good stuff over there.
But yeah, we are totally off topic, but that was just the happiness of the week, and thank you so, so much.
You're welcome.
Very much still eating them. I was going to freeze them when I realized that no, I'm gonna go. And the boys aren't eating them, it's all me. It's all me.
She's been eating them. She's been hounding
And
them
I've been
for
eating,
sure.
yeah.
Good.
So, all right,
But
this first video. Oh, go ahead, Cam. Sorry.
I was gonna say, but it is great to be here. I've been fascinated with this long before. Again, this has been in mythology. Since King Arthur and the cloak, that was the mantle of invisibility, and of course in Harry Potter, it's covered in most of the sci-fi different things.
Mm-hmm.
Comes up a lot, but yeah, fascinating topic. I love any of the optics to look at because when we say not found in nature, when we find how things work, a lot of the times there will be instances where it's found in nature and we just don't know. We a lot of the times develop things just like I know in gemstones not growing in laboratory will grow things that we think are not have never been found in nature, but you know it exists.
Yeah.
And then how many years later you'll find it in nature. So
Well, yeah, that
they've
one gemstone that they found in, I think it was Ireland, and they have no idea where on earth
where
this
it came
gemstone
from.
came from. They thought it was, I think, a jade or something like that, or maybe an emerald, and
But
it
it
turned
tested
out
out
to be
different.
something unknown. And it was set in a ring hundreds of years ago.
So the
So
only
yeah,
specimens of these stones are cut, polished, finished, and nobody knows where the rough came from. And again, when you take it into finishing the piece, you lose a lot of your clues on it.
do you think all
But
the
yeah, that's
crystals
in
have been discovered?
no, no. In fact, again, that no,
No.
because
For
you
those of
have
you out
again
there that
all of the
might think
different.
that's a
Mhm.
crazy question, they say there's at least 70,000 trees that haven't been discovered yet on Earth. So, yeah, crystals I
No.
can almost guarantee we haven't
No, you
discovered.
can't
New
because your
minerals are always
combinations
being
are
discovered. Yeah.
Hmm. They're probably being made right now. A new mineral could be
right.
being
That
created
that
right now for the first time in
that
Well, we
nature.
do
that
it in
gem.
laboratory. We do it in laboratory, create things knowing that again, how again, when you get into properties and that you're building and chemical composition and that we've built it in lab that again, for the longest time, everybody knows cubic zirconia. Cubic zirconia at first they were like saying we've never found it in nature. They had it out on the market before they found it in nature, and they found it in nature afterwards in very, very tiny, minute, small crystals. But again, we can make it if we can make it in laboratory,
Yeah,
it can be
nature
made
can do
out
it.
of nature can do
Hmm.
it.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, this first video is from an actual company, the Invisibility Shield Company. They have a Kickstarter they're working on. You can pre-order version 2.0, and this was as of almost 3 years ago. And I don't think they've done a whole lot of extra. No, this is like just a few videos, all done. 10 months ago, they put out another one. So yeah, it seems like they're working on it. I think it's because they're so easy to make yourself. You really don't need another person, you know. But yeah, this is where this video is from. If you want, you can go check them out. But yeah, here you go. This is really neat. I'm going to turn the music down just a little bit. You can't be too close to it. See his hands right there?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, you can't make out the waves nearly as well. But I didn't know she was standing behind there.
Yeah. That's a pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Go back.
Yeah, that one right there.
Yeah.
Woo, that one's good.
Yeah, that one's real good. I do not see anyone behind there or anything.
Yeah, I would look right past that.
Yeah, I might look at it to be like, there's a weird piece of plastic standing up there. That'd be it, you know?
It seems much easier to pick up if you have a crisp, like strong lines and things like that. Again, when you had the parking lot lines and things like that, you could see it. But again, when you have a less distinct linear background, I think it blends better.
I was gonna say
Wonder
a
what the biggest
lenticular lens. I
size
was gonna say this looks like a lenticular lens.
Mm-hmm.
Before you even showed that out, because I've seen those. Because I used to work in this print shop, and if you've ever seen those pictures where you turn the picture one way and you see one picture, and you turn it the other way, you see the other picture. That's what that is. It's a lenticular lens, and they have to print. They take the picture and they print it in strips, right? And so you have to line it up with the back of the lens, and then when you do that,
Like
these
this?
little exactly, yes.
Oh wow, I didn't realize that was the same
3D.
thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very cool.
I remember
you
walking
look
home
at it
with
one way, you look
bookmarks
at it the
all,
other way,
all
you
the
see
time
the
with
other
those kind
picture.
of stuff in them.
So yeah, that's called a lenticular lens. And it's a series of cylindrical lenses molded in a plastic substrate. So a bunch of little long cylinders, you know, and they're all tucked in nice and neat. Now, I wonder if there's a difference if you make them different sizes or you hide
they
bigger
could be
things behind
small
them.
or they could be big. Yeah. Well, I don't know how big.
Because well, at least the creator was talking about wanting to hide tanks.
I mean, I
I wonder how
guess
big these things get.
if you had a series of them, you could if you had it like sitting somehow, yeah, you probably could.
Yeah, there's that lenticular printing you were talking about.
Exactly. See how it's all in strips? So it depends on the angle
where
that you
you're
look
looking at it
with your
from.
eye.
Yeah.
It shows you that picture, and that's how they get that sort of little animated GIF look on the print, you know?
And then they are sometimes used as corrective lenses for improving vision. Extreme hyperopia, farsightedness. So when people have extreme farsightedness, distant objects are seen clearly, but near objects appear blurred. So that's like my right eye.
Oh no, I'm just imagining like someone with glasses and all of a sudden their eyes go invisible.
Yeah, kind of like that trailer park dude. His eyeballs they look all like Coke bottle glasses.
No, this is like the opposite. All you see is like skin color because it's showing everything around it. It just like makes your eyelids turn into like a blurred, so you're not even seeing your eyes, kind of a thing. It just looks like skin.
So I was wondering, the screen, I had the mirrors. Remember that commercial back in the day? It's got the mirrors talking about that Toshiba projection thing. I guess the military bought up that tech, and that's why all the companies quit making it. and everything went super flat screen digital after that. But it was like one of the last projection TVs that they made. It was awesome. It looked so real, but it had like that weird, like the screen, you could see it. It had the lines in it when it was turned off, and then when it turned on, it was gone. But yeah, it definitely had a bunch of lines. I wonder if it was using that. But yeah, used with projection television systems.
Huh.
Because
This is always kind of more of a 3D TV kind of a concept.
And then there's, yeah, as of 2010, a number of manufacturers were developing auto-stereoscopic high-definition 3D televisions using lenticular lens systems to avoid the need for special spectacles. So it was like 3D TV without 3D glasses.
Huh. Kind of reminds you, they did that with a 3DS, but I don't know if they used a lenticular lens when they did that. But yeah, 3DS was amazing.
Is that like when they were selling those 3D TVs, or did you have to wear glasses with those?
I don't remember. I don't remember if
never
you had
had
to wear them.
one.
Yeah, I didn't either. I don't
I
think
was
I've ever
like-
even seen a 3D TV.
They used to be really popular, and then they just kind of phased out.
Okay, so it's using it to refract the light through all the different lenses, depending on what you're going to see. Okay, and this is just the Wikipedia article, if you guys want to check this out, for lenticular lens. Yeah, interesting. Now it's saying that it had these in the 1920s, these lenses. So the guy who invented it is not the guy we're going to see. It said he was the inventor. Maybe he's the inventor of the invisibility shield.
Mm-hmm.
That might be what he invented. But I saw down here somewhere it said they were using these in the 1920s. Yeah. Lenticular lenses were used in early color motion picture processes of the 1920s. Yeah, so it's old tech. Most is anymore. But yeah, if you guys want to check that out. And then this is instructables.com. And it just pretty much goes through the process of him making one of these invisibility shields right here. It says, what do you need? You need the lenticular lens. Geez, I keep saying that wrong. And then you need an optically clear adhesive, some kind of glue that isn't going to, it has to be able to see through when it dries. Like a lot of people would think super glue, but it can't just be any super glue, because super glue it'll like crust up and turn a color. So make sure you get
like some sort of epoxy or something. Probably.
Yeah, they have them. You can buy it. It's kind of like even in a super glue thing. They have stuff that's optically clear. Yeah. Polycarbonate sheet. That's just to super glue this to hold it firm, because these sheets are kind of bendy. And then the UV lamp, you really don't need. This is just to let the thing dry. I mean, it's going to dry. You don't need a UV lamp to dry the glue unless you buy.
Penny, sweetie, I have all kinds of UV lamps or lights. I mean, I just have them in torch instead
Well,
of
no,
lamp.
I know, but you don't need
Yeah.
one of these. Yeah.
I was saying if you were making one, though, we're covered.
Yeah, and then optically clear adhesive sheets. Like, I watched a few different ones of people making these, and they didn't use some of this stuff. Like this is all to have it so it's standing on your own. Other people made it so there was handles, and now if you're going to have a handle behind it, see, he makes his just to stand up on the ground, and then you can walk up behind it. Very cool. But then I've seen some where people have like a shield, and one of the big things about it is you can't have your hands very close to the shield. They'll show up. So you have to make like a clear, perfectly clear thing to hold on to that bows away from the shield. You have to be so far away from it. And he's running it through all these big fancy machines. You don't need to do all this stuff. But this was the most like in detail, in-depth person that I saw putting it together. The rest of them were maybe 4 or 5 minutes. This is how I did it, and then showing a quick example. And I've noticed that in all of them, it only picks up lines that are horizontal.
Mm-hmm.
It's not picking up the vertical lines, like at all. Which, is it because they're in parallel with the
Yeah, probably.
all the lenses?
I'm sure if they rotated it 90 degrees, it'd be the opposite.
Yeah, all the other ones would be off. Yeah.
It even called it adhesive and lenticular. You think I can't help but think about Polaroid filters, which Polaroid filters, remember how they make the little blinds again that you look at and you get your Faraday and your different effects out of? How they make Polaroid filters in laboratory, I don't know if you're aware of this, Zach. Is again, you have a certain material, but you stretch it, machines stretch it one direction evenly, which again makes it all the light go linear in one direction. You're putting a stretch on it, lenticular, and again, lines, and the way that it's pulled and how it lets the light through. Again, and in nature that does happen. So, just pull up from there a little bit.
So we are gonna watch. I guess we could watch this whole thing and just we can stop it a couple times. How this invisibility cloak material is made and how it works. This is by CNET. A
Here's
bunch
the
of
bigger one.
views. Yeah. Just really cool. I'm thinking right there is one of these maybe in the wall. And you just can't see it. And then there's definitely something up here. This one's like bending though, you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see what
Viral videos going around of the new invisibility cloak material from Hyperstealth Biotechnology Corporation. Well, Hyperstealth was kind
That's pretty cool. Like even from
new invisibility cloak material from Hyperstealth Biotechnology
Kinda
Corporation.
see it almost. Did
well,
you see that?
Hyperstealth.
Yeah. It's like a blob.
Yeah, like over here, I'm starting to see it, and then it
I guess
appears
they have like
like right here.
anti-reflective like film that they can put on it to make it a lot more believable.
Yeah,
Because that would be like the dead giveaway is why is that suddenly shiny over there? What's that shiny thing over there?
Mhm.
And if you see a big wall like this, but if it's not reflecting the light, then yeah, you're not going to.
They need to work on that because the same qualities, that opaqueness that they're pulling and lineating the light and the shininess is some of it that's helping them get it. So again, they can fine tune it.
Yeah, for sure.
Stealth Biotechnology Corporation. Well, Hyperstealth was kind enough to send us some early samples of the material to try out ourselves, and it works as advertised, refracting light around target objects and obscuring them from view without the need for a power source.
Wow.
Now let's cut right to the chase and get into how it works, how it's made, and what it could mean for the military and the world at large. What we have here is version 1 of the material known as Quantum Stealth. So far, Hyperstealth has filed patents for more than a dozen different versions, each with its own unique optical properties. Version 1 is the jumping off point for these later versions, but version 1 itself is actually something you're probably already familiar with. It's a thin sheet of plastic with cylindrical ridges on one side called...
Yeah, there you can see.
Mm-hmm.
These are all just little circular lenses.
Yep.
The lenticular lens. This technology has been around for decades, most commonly used to create holographic images, like this album cover that lives on my refrigerator. Version 1 of Quantum Stealth is the same material, just without any picture printed behind it. They even make the same scratchy sound. Listen.
I think I had an album that was like that. Something inside the album. It was a Pac-Man. I had a Pac-Man. I don't know. I still remember one of the songs. I'm not going to sing it for you. But yeah, I remember back in the day, I was probably like 5 years old. So like 1984, something like that, you know. But yeah, you'd open the cover and on the inside it had one of those in it. You would turn it and it would show Pac-Man moving and all the ghosts moving around and this and that. Yeah, it was really neat. But I remember scratching it just like he did right there. That was weird how that came. I watched this earlier and it didn't dawn on me until just now.
To learn more about the later versions of Quantum Stealth and how they improve upon version 1. So I spoke to the man behind the material, literally. Guy Kramer, president and CEO of Hyperstealth Biotechnology Corporation, who is no stranger to stealth.
I developed camouflage for militaries around the world, and I've been doing that since 2003, and we have 6 million uniforms that have been issued with our patterns.
Guy shared with me how to make the prototype for version 2, which is 2 pieces of version 1 back to back with a thin layer of water.
There you go. Didn't you say something about that earlier, Cammy?
Mm-hmm.
He just said uniforms. Okay, implementing this into like material uniform.
Well, he was showing like these right here. I think he was talking about. See the way the camouflage has like these little squares and whatnot in it.
He made the pixel camo.
Yeah, they did that because it messes with certain types of the enemies trying to look down on them with cameras. That pixelated thing messes with their optics. They were doing it to the tops of vehicles, all kinds of stuff. It wasn't just
I had some digis from back when I was in the army there. So
yeah, I heard when they were going into one area, they went back to the old version from Vietnam because the enemy had technology that could see through this stuff.
Huh.
Yeah. Where were we? Let's see. So 2 pieces now.
Pieces of version 1 back to back with a thin layer of water or oil in between.
A lot of people are getting very excited about what they're seeing with version 1, and I have to say that version 2 though is the big deal here.
I took a crack at making version 2 myself.
Is the big deal.
Infrared
Seeing with version 1
and thermal.
It blocked the thermal. That was cool.
Actually,
wow.
It kind of makes sense because thermal's reading it by light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. I know thermal cameras, if you have one of those solar blankets, you can put that up over things and thermal won't see that either. That I have a bunch of those in my bug out bag.
The survival blankets.
Yeah.
The ones that are like shiny aluminum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can put that like if a drone was say flying over with thermals and you put that up over you in a thing, like it won't see past that. Like it would see your hand from the side if you stuck it out. But yeah, if you're all tucked up underneath that thing, and as long as you're not touching it, putting heat onto that thermal blanket, then it'll look just like the area around it. Because aluminum is so good at, transferring heat. It's like instantaneous. Yeah, that's impressive that it blocks out the thermal spectrum.
And I have to say that version 2 though is the big deal here.
I took a crack at making version 2 myself and it came out decent. Version 2 preserves more details in the background than version 1, but objects farther away get flipped. That can be attention grabbing when you have
kind of like the arrows in water. You know, it'll be
Right.
facing one direction, then you put the circular
Mm-hmm.
cup of water in front of it. Now the arrow's pointing in the other direction. That's what reminded me of that right there.
And it came out decent. Version 2 preserves more details in the
Yeah, you really don't want to try to use it for, you know, I mean, that's very obvious that that's in front of that
Yeah.
window there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I can definitely see how it's making a little bit more of it. I wonder how many layers you could do and if it would make it worse if you tried adding more. I'm sure somebody's had to have tried it.
I don't think you beyond 2 it would be much
Yeah.
use.
I think it's a bigger deal when you've got the really detailed backgrounds there, and also when you're up close to it. But if you're
Mm.
further away, like say this was something in the sky, you know, put that on an aircraft, and it's going to be a totally different story.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if this is how they said they had technology to hide some of these big balloons, you know, the ones that are like 5 football fields long, these big dirigibles they have up there. I wonder if they use something like this on the bottom of them, or if it's just the color. They make it look like the color of the sky, or I don't know.
Kind of using shark tactics and how sharks have the white belly.
Mhm.
So when they look up, they
They
can
could
blend right
just
in.
make it sort of like semi-reflective, and it would just reflect whatever's around it,
Yeah.
and it will blend
I'm
in.
gonna throw I'm gonna throw out two for people doing that and talking in the chat. The way that it flipped it over, and you're talking about flipping it like in the water and the arrows, flipping the image around and having it again go the opposite direction is also something that happens in the mirror scope. If you had a frog facing one direction, looking at the top, you would see it going the other direction. And again, when we start getting into our sky and how these things flip and change directions, some basics to pay attention to.
Yeah, absolutely.
the background than version 1, but objects farther away get flipped. That can be attention grabbing when you
So yeah, you can't be too close, and at least with version 2, you can't be that far away. I wonder, they didn't say that with version 1 though, did they? That really didn't come up.
have something moving across the background and suddenly it looks like it's going the other direction. Putting two version 2s together to create version 3 solved that problem. Versions 4, 5, and 6 are various combinations of lenticular lenses that create repeating images that could be useful for hiding larger objects. And later versions include camouflage patterns printed into the materials and different orientations of the lenses that allow the scrambling of targets positioned much closer to the material. By now you might be wondering, why isn't this material classified if it's for the military?
It was actually my shareholders that sat me down at an annual general meeting and said, you've been promoting this material to the military since 2010. You've done 40 demonstrations around the world, and you haven't made a dime from this material. It's time to secure the intellectual property before someone else does, and it's time to commercialize this and take it to market. I'd probably given an extra 2 years to the military that they didn't deserve to try and vet this. And in the end, while my concerns are still valid, how is it going to be used negatively, the criminal element? They were totally right.
By this point, the military applications of the technology are clear.
No,
are still valid.
How can they classify it though? People already use it to make stickers and pictures. It's on albums. It's like, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Classify something that people have been using for decades.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Negatively, the criminal element. They were totally right.
By this point, the military applications of the technology are clear.
So that's just like one of those kind of like semi garages
Yeah.
that the military uses, but it's just made out of this instead of metal. That hid that pretty well too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, definitely not perfect, but I couldn't tell you that was a tank by looking at
Yeah.
that right there. I wouldn't know what that would be.
They were totally right.
By this point, the military applications of the technology are clear. But the potential usefulness of this material doesn't stop there.
We've got the solar patent, we've got the light bending patent, we've got a laser splitting patent where I can split a laser into millions of parts, which can be used for LiDAR, which are lasers that
Whoa, did you see that?
Yeah.
So that's just him shining through this thing, making this pattern. And then it goes, what? That's wild. Is that all? I mean, I could see either making this or making these.
Yeah, I don't know how he's doing both.
Wow, so they've really gotten into this. And this is a couple years old. But those like type 12 and type 11 where it's all in the thing but different, yeah. I guess people are doing them with I saw a thing for what are the 3D printers. People are making different types of things like this with the 3D printers. I bet that's how they do it, all the crazy different ones. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
parts which can be used for LiDAR, which are lasers that operate like radars, and they're used on self-driving cars. So huge resolution improvement will increase safety for the vehicle, the pedestrian, any animals that are down the road. Obviously, it's going to have military applications as well. You'll be able to see the battlefield like you've never seen it before. And then the fourth patent is a holographic-like display system.
While these demonstrations are impressive.
Wow, that's cool. That's like the TV of the future there, where it's just the screen and that's it. I'm not sure how there's a projector back there projecting this on here, maybe. I don't know. There was some movie and they were showing like one of the spy guys and they were going to the spy's house and his computer was like this. It was just like two clear, perfectly clear pieces of glass looking things. And then he just started touching the keyboard and all of a sudden all this stuff popped up on there. And it was like it was projected up there.
Man, that was a cool video I watched forever ago about how glass of the future and like everything being just made out of glass, like your computers, your keyboards, everything just made out of glass, because there's so much like technology behind that is just really crazy what they can do with it these days.
Yeah, I bet we don't even get to see the coolest stuff, you know. Okay, we'll finish this out. There's less than a minute left.
A holographic-like display system.
While these demonstrations are impressive, Guy tells me that once quantum stealth is able to be properly manufactured, the backgrounds will appear clearer, anti-reflective coating will make them more useful outdoors, and you won't have oil or water dripping out the bottom onto your hands.
They're what I call crude prototypes. My guess is we're probably looking at a year or less before we start to have commercially viable or military viable products.
Do you think quantum stealth is going to be a game changer? Let us know your predictions down in the comments. As always, thanks so much for watching. I'm your host, Jesse Orrell. See you next time with the fam.
In a way, it kind of reminds me of the Skunk Bay footage, where you can watch like the whole peninsula end up getting like obscured by atmospheric refraction, and so you just don't see it anymore. And so, yeah, the atmosphere can make things turn invisible.
I'm gonna look up hyperstealth biotechnology. We'll see what's going on there. So we got new and updated hyperstealth website. Okay. What kind of news do they have? Yeah, I didn't check into this website. I just wanted to see how far they've come. Hyperstealth released January 28th, 2025, so they're still doing stuff. Turkey. Wow, this is... It could be because I have so much stuff open and I'm not on... I'm having to use a laptop right now. The beast is in the repair shop right now. Spooky Ace, Photon, Avalanche, anti-radar technology. So they're into a lot more than just this. Project See-Through. That sounds, yeah, that's January 2021. These are all 2021 is the earliest or the most recent on this. And that was their news. Turkey, Ukraine, Indonesia, Malaysia. Oh, so they're selling it. Yeah, I bet they're doing military stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Hypersmith will be licensing American states and territories separately for their patented solar panel amplifier licensing. Yep, I'm not. I bet they're going pure military, which I mean, in all reality, I mean, if you're not
That's
hiding
where the
from
money is.
somebody,
Who else is going to
yeah,
be doing that?
yeah, hiding. I mean, it's a neat thing to show people and to have, show your friends, hey, look what I can do. But for practicality uses, for, private citizens to have it, I don't see a whole lot of practical uses. At least legal practical uses, But yeah, I could definitely see it for the military. So I don't know. We'll see what comes from hyperstealth in the future.
I could see it being used for hunting blinds.
That would be cool.
There's a place over here that had invisibility. They called them invisibility hunting blinds, but it was a reflective thing. So it just reflected the woods around you,
Like
which
mirrors and
for
stuff.
yeah, for I mean it wasn't like glass or anything, but it was like the thing was like highly reflective. So
I've
it
seen some
just
pretty good hunting blinds like that.
yeah.
There we go.
There we go, like that ghost blind. Yeah, that's what it's called. That ghost blind thing.
Yep.
Wow, look at that. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go look at it. The heck? Why isn't it going in? Visit. Okay, visit site. $127. So is it reflective or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's reflective. It just they're putting like a whatever,
Yeah,
a picture on
yeah,
it,
what it would look like.
but it is very it just see it just looks like
Wow,
whatever
is
environment you're
around
in.
you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Very cool. Okay, we can close those down. Yeah, the lenticular lens, folks. They've been around at least since the 1920s. Does it even say who created it? I see a lot of
1920s. It's one of those kind of really old technologies.
Fresnel lens. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, folks. I'm just trying to find one. Okay. Okay, not just
While you're
lenses.
looking, I'm just going to read just a little bit the
Does
basic
not exist.
They probably
Says the
don't know.
basic concept of a lenticular lens was developed by Raphael Lenzgang in 1896.
Are you
However,
seeing
the
that?
history, I'm getting an AI overview on my phone.
Oh,
However, the
okay.
history of the images goes back much further. In 1692, French painter Vauclair created a dimensional effect on canvas by placing a grid between the viewer and the painting. In 1896, Raphael Lenzing developed the basic idea of lenticular film. 1908, Gabriel Lippmann proposed using a series of lenses to record a complete spatial image. 1920s, lenticular lenses were used in early color motion pictures processes like Kodacolor and the color Dorian system. In the 1930s, sheets with lenticular lenses came into use. In the 1960s, stereo advertising took off due to advancement in lenticular technology. Late 20th century, lenticular holograms became a security feature in identity documents. So they are the holograms in the security documents. Lenticular lenses have tiny ridges or grooves called lenticules that refract light in different directions. This allows the viewer to see different images depending on the angle from which they view the image.
In a way, it's reminding me of those polarized filters. And because when you take 3 polarized filters and get where it should be totally black and you're seeing right through it, and it just boggles everyone's mind. I still kind of wonder, like, how exactly does that work? And maybe it has something to do with this kind of
There's
getting
similar
warped
type
around
of
it.
instead of in other words, the Polaroid are linear, like completely linear, where these are tubular. So in other words, it's more of the dimension, that little scratchy you feel when you do the Polaroid filters, you don't feel that 3D. So it's almost the lenticular is almost a 3D, and well, that's what they call it, a holographic, but it's a physically 3D effect too, instead of just lines and a flatness that you're bringing in and pulling in all the surfaces in all directions. Does that make sense, Kyle? Or in other
That
words,
was a lot
where
really fast. So
okay, well, think on a Polaroid filter, it's just a piece of paper flat, like completely a flat plane that you have lines drawn into. It's just very 2D type of effect, right? This is very similar, but instead of like lines, like flat lines on it, they're rounded, they're cylindrical. So you're going to pick up, instead of just looking through slats, you're going to be picking up reflections of all of that cylindrical angle. So you're seeing that it's almost, instead of looking through a straight line, you're looking again, you're getting a 3D, you're seeing all of the angles like bounce off instead of just going right through that one line, you're seeing it bounce off.
Yeah.
It's almost,
And when you take the
they're both
3
linear, but
different
they're
lenses and
one's
stack them
2D
on
and
top
one's
of each other, aren't they? It's not quite as 2D as it used to be, just with one.
Well, no, but there's still, again, you're bending the light and just putting it through almost like mini blinds, where if you're doing think of it this way. Think of it this way, Kyle. This is weird. Okay, think of like flat wood mini blinds, right? And opening them partially and looking through the light through them on it. And you've got them open 3/4 away. Now think of those aluminum ones, the blinds that are very, very curly blinds, like make a very curly blind. And actually, even in your mind, invert it more that you're seeing like on the aluminum and curving it, where you're seeing all the reflections and it's open 3/4 away. So you're seeing it bounce off that curve instead of looking through that straight line. You're seeing it bounce off all the curves and mirror back at you.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm trying. I see it perfectly in my brain, and
Yeah.
it's like, what words are the right words to explain like the picture
Yeah.
going on in my head? The thing that's always a problem with me.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm finding a bunch of different stuff. The basic idea of the lenticular film was developed by a German Raphael Lenzing.
Yep, the thing I was mispronouncing. Exactly.
So, okay. And then 1908, applied it to still photography, and then it kind of went
Right.
on from there. Okay.
But they had the very first instance they had on me going back for the effect they got. They have it in a painter picked up the effect and did it in 1692, which is pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
So again, playing with the
Yeah.
optics of it.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So yeah, lenticular lenses, folks. That's how we get really cool stuff like this. Again, practical uses for you at home. Oh, no, what are we doing here? Go back. Yeah, it'd be cool to see something like this out on the street or something. But yeah, you can definitely tell that it doesn't pick up either horizontal or vertical. And you got to be away from it. His hands are way too close to it there. That's a good one. That's Then yeah, I think the best one is the mountain one. This one's pretty good too. I don't see the cone there really. Now I wonder if you could like hide something outside. I mean, these aren't the greatest windows, but windows really just to let light in.
Could hide your pot plants.
Yeah. Or you could hide your shower. You could have this like on your shower wall, a wall of this. So if you stand right here in the shower, you won't be seen.
Oh, like a invisible outdoor shower.
Yeah. I don't know if that could work, but
It might be cool, like if you have a lot of neighbors, like, and you want to have more privacy from your neighbors.
yeah. I like
Your
your
shower
privacy
thing
from the
might be your
neighbors.
one area that where having the steam could like mess up your optics on it. Can you imagine thinking you're invisible in the steam playing with the optics and whoops,
There you are. Yeah.
there you are.
Hide your backyard chickens. There you go. How are the chickens doing?
Chickens are good.
Laying eggs. That's got to be so cool. Seeing something hatch and raising it and then, you know,
And then
them
having to
returning
try
the
to
favor.
attack you.
Best way to combat egg prices, right?
Huh? Well, egg prices here are not so bad. Like, I don't know, it hasn't hit us yet if there's an egg. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's not as horrible as it is other parts of the country.
Mhm.
But yeah, we
I'm
are in
wondering if
the
that's just more of a city thing.
I don't know. It makes sense if it was.
Yeah, because out here, so many people have chickens, and nobody's worried about the chickens.
Yeah, I know I've seen some crazy prices. I think the last time we went, they were like $4 and something. I was like, whoa. Usually they weren't up that high. So they went up a little bit at the Aldi's here in town.
Yeah, that was the Aldi's, which normally has it closer to $1, so it was quite a jump at the Aldi's. And they said, and then when we got home, I think that they were not that high at the Ingles, and Aldi's is normally quite a bit cheaper. But then they said different stores, and depending on where their supply came from, got affected differently.
Yeah, that makes sense. They'll come back down. I know they had destroyed over 1 million chickens or something like that
It's a shame.
because of bird flu, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's
Which is interesting because you don't really hear about it killing other birds.
Right?
Right.
It's just chickens.
Yeah, what's up with that?
it's a good way to try to control the population, you know, control the food. I don't know, I don't want to get optimistic. I'm still like on my toes. But I have to admit, a lot of the things I've been screaming about wanting to change in the government for like the last 20 years, a lot of it's like at least being tried to be done. I've been saying the government needs to get out of education and give it back to the states forever. I've been saying that forever. They don't do anything but harm it. They need to get in this. I don't even want to get into the U.S. aid and all the stuff. If you want to hear me rant about that, I will be live at 5 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow morning because, yeah, I got a list. Like the stuff that they've been spending American tax dollars on is, oh, it boils my blood. I'll just say that.
With coffee cups, $1,000 coffee cup kind of a thing.
Yeah. Or no, it's even worse than that, in
way
my
worse.
opinion. It's not like they're hiding it. They're saying I mean, I'm sure a lot of it is kickbacks and this and that, and not all that money is going to these things. But the things that they're saying that it's going for is just outrageous. It's just, it's crazy. So yeah, if you'd like to see me rant, I will be live tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Eastern time at Iron Realm Media. You can find us on the YouTubes, Rumble, or freeworld.fm. So yeah, that's where I'm going to be. And then, of course, GLOBEBUSTERS on Sunday. Karen, what do you got coming up?
I've got anti-religious scripture study on Saturday with Jack.
That was a good one last Saturday.
Thank you. And of course, coffee talk on Monday at 9:30 a.m. at my place.
I will
That's
be
what
there.
I got going on.
What time?
9:30 a.m.
Yes, finally. Early. I'm an early worker. I like to be, that's when I get my best work done. Like usually like right around noon is like, that's like nap time.
Yeah.
My body would rather be taking a nap around noon, just a quick, hour and a half nap. But no, 9:30, awesome. We're going to be rocking and rolling. We're going to get stuff done. Awesome sauce.
Oh wait,
Kyle.
you mean Sunday? Or is that what you're asking me about?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. You can come over. That's fine with me. We'll be up. We're up early.
Yeah, you guys are early
She was
birds.
talking about coffee talk on Monday.
I was talking about coffee talk.
So
I was
that would be a
thinking Sunday.
9:30.
I'm ready to work.
But no, Ted is early like that too. He will
Cool.
love that.
Yeah.
Look at him. He says, "Same here, Zach."
No later than 7:30 a.m. on the weekends. Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah. All right. So yeah, I'll get
But yes,
over as soon as
early's
I can
fine.
get Cammy over there.
It's
Okay,
pretty
that
easy to get Cammy up if we know we're going to Karen's. I have to say that for different
Yeah,
reasons
true.
of getting me up. That's going into the forest and cutting and burning wood, and that especially if you tell me we're going to have a fire. Are we having
we're
a fire,
definitely
Ted?
having a fire.
If we're
Nice.
definitely having a fire, then pretty much I'm easy. I mean, I'm
Supposed
easy
to
on
get
that. Not
rain.
normally.
Supposed to
Pardon?
get rain. We're supposed to get rain next week, so
Ooh, okay.
so we're trying to get a slash and
Get it
burn.
done. Yeah. Awesome. I will be there bright and early. Can't wait. And what you got coming up this week, Kyle?
I'm kind of split in multiple directions. I've been really enjoying going back and highlighting some of the really good classic GLOBEBUSTERS episodes that just like going by the points and sharing those, and really love doing that. But at the same time, I'm also trying to do more book readings and just kind of get conversation started and going, and just kind of, that's what I really like doing. And so I like to just do videos on whatever the good conversations are. But I think that's what I want to do more of, is the textbook reading. So I'll probably be diving more into that. And so looking forward to that.
Awesome, man. Can't wait. And Cammy, what do you got coming up this week?
I've got continuing on, and I am on a total learning. I don't, where you go on a learning binge before, and what I do is I learn things and then I put my pieces together. So I've been on a learning binge on some things, trying to put some ideas and things together. But we've got that. Things that help me do that are building fires and gathering with friends. So we've got that coming up, and nourishment. Which again, I'm truly blessed. I've got the almond croissants.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're going to have a Have No Sphere tomorrow night. Again, I know maybe, I'm not sure. But we will be there in the morning. I know Josh has been having a lot of troubles with his eyes. He's going to be having surgery next Thursday. So if you could, keep
Oh,
him in your
wow.
prayers. It's got to be terrifying having somebody messing with your eyeballs.
Yeah, buddy.
You got to be awake during that time too when they do like the
Oh.
LASIK surgery. That's tough
Yeah,
stuff for me.
so he's gonna have the guy get in there and look around and then decide what's gonna happen. And yeah, it's an ordeal. It's a serious one. So just keep him in your prayers. Send out some good love and vibes to him. I'm sure him and Dixie and all the bunnies and dogs and cats and all the stuff can use some of that right now. But yeah, I will be back tomorrow morning, bright and early. And I'm going to be on fire. I know it. I can feel it already. It's going to be a lot of ranting tomorrow morning. Some of the stuff I've learned, I've been wanting to just call people that I normally don't call and be like, have you seen this? Do you see what they're doing? But no, I'll save it. I'll save it for tomorrow. But love you all. Thank you all so much for hanging out. Remember, be good to each other. Don't lie to each other. Open your mind because there's truth inside. Peace out, everyone.
Peace, everyone.